What's up, besties? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm taking you guys to Finland today. We're going to be reacting on traditional food from Finland, right? If you're super excited, Finland is one of the country I would really love to visit. And lately, I've just been obsessed with anything that has to do with them. So you guys should just keep the links coming for me, right? So without any further ado, let's check this out. Don't forget to like the video and share the video.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're here in Turku, Finland, talking about what you should eat when you come here to Finland. And I know if you're traveling around the world, you probably haven't seen too many Finnish ravintolas or restaurants because Finnish cuisine isn't known to be the most popular in the world. However, that doesn't mean there aren't some really great treats for you to have when you're here, okay? So we're gonna go through some of the best foods to have when you're here in Finland, and also let you know is how they eat here in Finland as well, so you can have a better time filling up on some of these fun snacks. And I think one thing you'll see, and you'll see it whether you're on the train coming from Helsinki to Turku, or you're gonna see it on the breakfast buffet at your hotel, are Karelian pies, or Karjalan pirkaka, which of course I am totally butchering the name, but basically what it is like about the size of your hand, and it's like a rye dough bready crust kind of thing filled with like a rice pudding, and then I don't know how else to better explain this, but like a egg butter on top of it. I know it sounds crazy, but it's actually fantastic because you get them warm. Oh, it's so good. But that's like a great snack, but also something you'll see for breakfast a lot of times at restaurants. But that's one of my favorite things. When I lived here, that was one of my survival snacks for breakfast every single day, okay? Now, another thing you really have to have, and if you're here in Turku and you're just walking up and down the river, the Aue River, which is beautiful, or if you're on the Esplanade in Helsinki, sit at a cafe and have a korvapusti, which is a cinnamon roll. Honestly, Finland has the best cinnamon rolls in the world, hands down. Cinnabon can go drop off the side of the earth because here they're incredible. Whether you get like a cheap one from a store or a fantastic one from a cafe or a bakery, but honestly, the cinnamon rolls are so good. When I told my son I was coming here, Liam's like, "Dad, you have to have a cinnamon roll for me." So Liam, I've had the cinnamon rolls for you, buddy. You're welcome, okay? But that's something you really need to have. And what's cool is you can have that with coffee because the Finns love their coffee. And you have great coffee when you're here. Strong coffee, so grab a coffee and a cinnamon roll and you'll be happy for a great snack, okay? Now, another thing you're really gonna like when you're here is actually rye bread. Ruisleipä. Yeah, I know, I'm totally butchering my Finnish. It's been so long since I lived here. I mean, it's been about 25 years since I lived here, so like my language skills are not so great, but honestly, the Finns love their bread, and you'll see that in the morning where people have tons of bread options at the hotel. And the thing is, a lot of times for dinner, Finns don't have big meals at home. At dinner, they might just have some bread and some butter on it or some cheese on it, but they have fantastic bread. But the best bread here is the rye bread. Have some of that when you're here. It is wonderful. And if you can't have that, just get some of the normal like homemade bread. You won't be disappointed. Now, when I told people I was coming to Finland, they're like, "Finland? Is that near Sweden?" And then they think, "Oh, IKEA meatballs?" I'm like, look, Sweden has their Swedish meatballs, but Finland also does meatballs, okay? The meatballs here are fantastic, and what you're gonna do is you have meatballs with mashed potatoes and then lingonberry jam on the side, or mix it together, however you wanna have it, but that is kind of like a staple kind of thing you'll see in restaurants, especially Finnish restaurants, obviously, when you go there. Another staple you'll have is salmon, and I'm talking salmon in any kind of way you can have. You can have a salmon fillet, you can have a whole salmon, you can have salmon soup. I know when I went to school here, one of my favorite school lunches was salmon with little potatoes. It was fantastic, and the Finns and their potatoes here, it's incredible. If you go to somebody's house, they'll make these little tiny potatoes, and they stab them, and they'll peel them like, phew, you're like, wait, where'd the skin go? Like, they're that good at it. It's hilarious, but you will have salmon, and more salmon when you're here, if you can, because they do such a good job with it. And honestly, probably another thing you want to have, and one thing that really changed for me when I lived here in Finland, was my love of mushrooms. When I came to Finland, I hated mushrooms. I didn't want mushrooms on anything. But here in Finland, they love nature. They go out hiking and they go mushroom hunting, and they find fantastic mushrooms to put in all kinds of stuff. So if you see something on the menu that has mushrooms on it, or a mushroom sauce, oh my God, you've got to have it. Mushroom soup, oh, so good, okay? So definitely have some mushrooms with anything when you're here. Now, the favorite candy for people here in Finland, and the one reason most tourists run away screaming from this country, is called salmiakki. And salmiakki is basically black licorice candy, and you can get it in all kinds of forms. I mean, they'll have the hard candy, like the original like hard candy version, which is just evil, okay? And then you can have like the licorice kind, but it'll come in like an ice cream, salmiakki ice cream. Yes, black licorice ice cream. Hell does exist, my friend. That's why the Helsinki airport is HEL. I think it's because the salmiakki ice cream. That was like the thing where they said, no, this one deserves to be hell. All right, but salmiakki, if you like black licorice, like salty black licorice, it's for you. And you'll see it in other things aside from candy. Actually, they'll sometimes, if you're at somebody's house, they might melt down some of the hard ones and mix it with some koskenkorva, so for salmiakki kostu or salmiakki koskenkorva. And you can't always get salmiakki koskenkorva, so you might see salmari at bars where that's the black licorice shot. You can have a shot of liquor. There's also one that's like a little bit creamier version of that's not as black licorice-y, that's doable. But just know that salmiakki is a thing here, and if you want to make your Finnish friends happy when you go visit them, bring them some salmiakki as a gift when you go to their house, okay? Because yeah, they love it here. It's horrible. It's really horrible. And then there's another thing, the Turkish pepper. It's not actually from Finland, but it's another can. It's really popular here. That's another one that foreigners tend not to like when they come visit, but it's weird because there's actually so many candy stores here, because you have Phaser candy, which is from here, and that is some fantastic.
So
you like
candies.
gummies, if you like chocolate, oh my god, Finland has such good candies. When you're here, it's kind of surprising how like healthy and in shape the people are, looking at all the candies they actually do have. But that is one thing. Go to one of the candy shops when you're here, and believe me, you will see the candy shops. There's candy shops, plenty of them out there, to go get some so you have some stuff. Now, let's get away from getting ourselves cavities to getting ourselves full. Another thing you might see is reindeer. Yes, reindeer. They're not Santa's reindeer. No. They're safe up in Rovaniemi in the north, not the North Pole, because Santa Claus is in northern Finland, not in North Pole. Very different, okay? But reindeer is something you can have, and sometimes it'll be in meatballs. Sometimes it'll be like, how do I say, like a stewed reindeer kind of. It's actually pretty good, so you can have that. There are also a lot of soups you can have because, it's cold here a lot of the year, okay? So those soups are really hard and they fill you up. And there's lots of different soups you can have. Like I said, mushroom soup, salmon soup, pea soup, sausage
yummy.
soup, mincemeat soup. There's just a lot of different soups you can have when you are here, and they do really help out, and it makes a good starter. And if you're looking to kind of lower your budget, going with the soup and the bread, just like a starter kind of thing for your meal, can actually save you a lot of money, and the soups do fill you up. Now, remember when I told you about that cinnamon roll you need to have? Well, if you're going to a cafe, another thing I think you should look for is blueberry pie, or just any kind of berry pie. And I'm going to tell you, don't think of it like in the American, apple pie mode. Think of it more of as not a crumble, but more like a dense, cakey kind of thing. But you'll have those berry pies, those blueberry pie kind of cake pie things. It's just, I don't know what the exact technical word is. It's not a tart, it's not a torte, it's not a pie, it's not a cake, but they call it pie here. But the blueberry pie, the berry pies, it's really nice. And the thing is, a lot of the berries are coming from here in Finland. Another thing you have to realize is the Finns really love nature. They love organic stuff, and so you do have a lot of organic options. You do have a lot of
I just feel like he took his time to be explaining more, and the meals are so yummy. The part that got me was the candies. If I go there, trust me, I'm going to feast on a lot of candies. I just love how he's actually explaining this with a lot of details and a lot of pictures to back it up, right? So I'm literally enjoying this. Finland is really a country to visit, I love everything about that country. Anyways, I just had to pause and give my review. Let's continue watching this, guys.
When you're eating, you'll see different things that are out there, and a lot of traditional foods sometimes don't show up on menus. You might want to have it at somebody's house, or it might be kind of like a starter or an appetizer kind of thing. So you really need to look through the menu at different places. So, for example, you have, the bread cheese that's here. It's kind of like this kind of, how do I say, it's like a fresh cheese kind of thing you can have. That's really nice. The thing is when you're eating here in Finland, it is one of those things that the locals, they like their organic, they like from Finland and nature, but actually they like international cuisine. Okay, so when you're here, you'll notice that your friends will ask you, oh, do you want to get sushi? Do you want to go Indian food? Do you want to go get some Thai food? They won't say you want to go get some Finnish food. They very much like to go and have international fare. So if you want to have something non-Finnish, you will have plenty of opportunities here. Whether you're here in Turku or Helsinki or Salo or Tampere or Rovaniemi, there's plenty of options out there. And if you've got your kids here, they have kids menus a lot of times too. But it's one of those things that you have a lot of options, which is nice as a traveler, because sometimes when you're having the local food, 3 weeks in a row, you get a little tired of it, and you can have some international fare when you're here. And for my fast food loving friends, and it's not just Americans, because people go to eat fast food all over the world, Finland has its own version of McDonald's, and that's Hesburger, which is 1,000 times better than McDonald's. Oh my God, it's an insult to Hesburger to compare it to them. But if you go there, they have the Kerroshamperlainen, which is like their version of a Big Mac, but it is fantastic. And what's great at Hesburger is they have their own mayonnaises. I always get the paprika mayonnaise, which is the pepper mayonnaise, which is like a little bit of spicy in it, but they have like all kinds of different ones you can try, but it's so good with the fries. But honestly, if you want a fast food thing, that's really good. Also, you'll notice there's a lot of kiosks that will sell like little fry-ups, like hot dogs or makrapernut, which is like imagine having French fries and chopped up hot dog together, and they just fry it together, and they'll have that. So there's a lot of like drunk snacks late at night if you want to get some of those things, but they're also available during the day, so that's nice. One thing I will say is when you come out to Finland, you're eating in Finland. Finland is not a cheap place, okay? It's someplace like Helsinki is very expensive, okay? If you're coming to Turku, it's a lot easier. Like I actually tell people, it's like, look, I mean, the trains are actually pretty cheap here. You could, do a day trip to Helsinki from Turku because there's trains early in the morning to late in the evening, and you can save the money on your train ticket in your hotel. Okay, so something to kind of think about. But when you're looking at your meals, you can go to the supermarkets to get. There's plenty of supermarkets here to grab foods. Look for arkioski if you're looking for like little snack stuff or maybe a sandwich or something, and you don't want to spend a lot of money. They have a lot of like quick and to go kind of foods, for you.
Wow.
Or you can get one of those cinnamon rolls there as well. You get coffee there too, and that's going to be cheaper than if you go to a cafe or a restaurant. So that could be some way to kind of help your budget when you're here. Another thing I would say is if you're looking at going out to eat, service, it's not bad, it's just not fast, and you don't tip, okay? Because they already get paid a nice way, so there's no tipping here in Finland, so that's not like incentivizing people to like work faster or do anything. So have some patience when you're ordering your food and getting your menu, just because it takes a little bit longer. But the thing is, the service is professional, so if you're not sure what you want, or if you have allergies, the thing is, people here speak English really well. So if you have an allergies to some kind of flour and you want to make sure it's not in your food, you can ask them in English and they'll be pretty helpful with that. So that's really nice. And I really have found that here they were very accommodating when it comes to cuisine. Okay, so I hope this helps you know what to eat when you're here. I know I'm going to go have myself a lovely, lovely, lovely cinnamon roll and enjoy the rest of my fine day here in Turku. And I'm going to head actually over to the castle now and have a good time there. So I wish you all the best. Have a fun time eating here in Finland. If you want to learn more, maybe the don'ts of visiting Finland or the don'ts of visiting Turku, check us out on our website at waltersworld.com.
This was totally beautiful. He took his time to explain a lot, and I got to find out that Finland has the best mushroom, the best bread as well. This was pretty beautiful, and I literally enjoyed how he took us all around everything, right? Let me know your thoughts, guys, on the comment section. And if you're visiting Finland, I think this particular video will prepare your mindset on what to expect, right? Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next video.